Hi, my name is Leslie Welch, and on behalf of Hardcore 34, I'd like to welcome you to our private video for this quarter's final project. Our team created a budget app, and it's called Don't Budge, Do Budget, and you can learn more about it now. Enjoy!
Hi, I'm Jessie. I came up with this budget idea because I thought it was a perfect application of the CRUD idea: create, read, update, and delete. I'm also in charge of the implementation, documentation, and unit testing of the expense table here. I also created several GitHub workflow actions to check our codes automatically whenever we push it to the remote branch. So these are all of the workflows that we have. CC and I also came up with this CI/CD pipeline image, and we made a demo video about it to show the process that we should follow. So they are all here. Thank you.
Hello, I am Derek for this team project. I work with Jashin on the expense table section where users get to input their data, including date, cost, item labels, so that the rest of the team can manipulate the data and generate textual as well as visual representation of the data. In terms of document generation, I created tutorials from the user perspective. Altogether, I am proud that I was able to recognize how my work contributed to the team. I'm also proud that I was able to strike a balance between doing independent research and collaborating with the team when I need to. However, I believe that in the future, I could improve myself on my planning so that there will be less unexpected events and I don't have to frequently go back to my code and modify them.
Hi, my name is Leslie Welch, and I was one of the teammates for this project for Hardcore 34. Overall, worked on the overall layout of the website as well as the budget view. One of the things I'm most proud of is this show less and show more button that allows the user to see what they want to see and hide what they don't want to see, as well as the ability to make this visualization chart bigger or smaller. Another aspect that I really liked was this Meet the Team button, just as a fun way to introduce the creators of this project. I think if I had more time, I would have preferred to make this view a little bit nicer and potentially have a homepage, like a welcome page.
Hi, my name is Austin. I worked with Alicia on the design and layout of the website. We implemented the colors as well as we implemented the CSS and HTML and JavaScript that forms the layout of the website. I'm most proud of the show more and show less button, where you can completely change the layout of the website, yet the formatting still works. I'm really proud of our team for staying true to the agile process, for having our weekly stand-ups, for doing our retrospectives. In general, I wish that we could have had a more responsive website that reacted well to changes in viewport width.
Hi, I'm David. I work on the reminder section of our website. I implemented the initial layout of the section and the add and remove feature. So you can add new reminder here and remove. And also the priority features that allows you to change the order of the reminders. And this is the feature that I'm most proud of. One thing that we could do better is to add dates to the reminder section and integrate it to the calendar so that whenever we add a new reminder, it shows up on the calendar on the date specified.
My name is Jack Wagner with Hardcore 34. I worked on two aspects of the project. First was the initial design, which kept the same colors of the new website that we came up with. I also worked on the reminders section. And what I'm most proud about is the scrollable aspect of the reminders and being able to save the reminders to local storage so you can be accessed, so they can access again. I wish I could improve upon a design that could be used for smaller devices so that everybody could see their expenses and monthly budget, as well as the reminders and calendar.
Hi, my name is Sissy, and I implemented the calendar feature with Josh. So here I've already inputted some data. The monthly budget is 600, which means it's around 19 per day. And these are reflected on the calendar. If the user is over the budget for the day, the cell will be red. If they're under the budget, the cell will be green. And you can also navigate through the calendar. I'm most proud of our unit test because I wasn't familiar with Jest, and I think we can improve on being more careful with the HTML because we made a small error that costs us a lot of time to fix.
Hello, my name is Dash, and I worked on some aspects of the UI design for this application, but more specifically, I worked on the calendar feature with Sissy. More specifically, we created this calendar feature that takes in data from this expense data table and the overall budget to color each cell depending on how much we have spent for that day. So red means we have spent more than the allocated daily budget, the average, and green means that we have spent less than that amount. So this budget tracker allows us to save new data, and this calendar can dynamically color each cell based on what we have passed in. And you can go through each month as you see fit. So I was most proud of my team's communication, creativity, and all of the features that we implemented in the end. Beyond this class, I would like to potentially use React or other frameworks to expand my web application knowledge and create a similar sort of app.
Hello, my name is Rafael, and our group created a budget analysis website. I worked on the visualization part of the project. After inputting all the budget values, the line graph shows expenses spent on each day. The pie chart shows the expenses spent depending on the different categories of the label. The character shows a happy face, a neutral face, or a sad face. It shows a happy face when the dollar left for this month is less than 70% of the monthly budget. It shows a neutral face when it's in between 70% and 100%, and then shows a sad face when it goes over the 100% limit. And then this is a happy face, neutral face, and a sad face. Thank you.
I am Shu Rafael, and I was responsible for the visualization and the budget part of the project. I implement the budget part so that when the user input the value for the monthly budget, the amount left the month and average amount left per day will be updated accordingly. And also when the user updated the expense table and click on the save budget button, the amount will also change. I'm proud of implementing user-centered design by eliminating the unnecessary buttons so that the user can directly manipulate the numbers and see the results directly. I feel like the character that be improved so that it can be shown on the screen all time instead of being part of the.
Hi, this is Sissy and Shu, and we'll be doing a tour of our repository. To access our repo, you go to our GitHub repo, and then here's our website link. And here's an explanation of our project, including all the features that we have. We have 5 features. And here's this brief tutorial of how you can use our web page. And down here, we'll be talking about the design of our repo and our folders.
Basically, the design of repo is distributed in 3 folders. The first one is the admin folder. It includes the branding, CI/CD pipeline, and the meetings. And the second one is the source folder. It includes the tests, the assets, to HTML files, and scripts and styles files. Last is the specs folder. It includes all the ADR files and all the reviews for our sprint meetings.
And we also included our ADR folder here, which are our design choices. We have 4 of them: the programming protocols, accessibility of our web page, our file organization, and the layout of our web page.
We also have the meet the team part, which includes the team intro video, and this is the timeline for our project, and also the meeting notes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
For this next section, we're going to be giving a little bit more of an involved retrospective on our Agile practices. From this section, we really want you guys to take away that we fully embrace the Agile practices that we learned about in lecture and through our labs and through our TA. And we really created an effective team, and that's what we want to show through. Finally, our README also serves as an outline of everything we talked about, so you can reference that as well.
The first thing that was our priority was the forming stage. We focused on forming friendships within the group, as well as include everyone in the conversations from the get-go. We all agreed that psychological safety was ensured from our first meeting, and we all always have felt comfortable sharing from there. We have multiple channels in Slack to organize communication, to daily stand-ups, and come up with meeting schedule. We also met multiple times a week, once in person in the CSE basement and 2 or 3 times on Zoom.
Then we move into the storming phase where we had to come up with our idea for the project. Many ideas were thrown out, but we all resonated with the budget idea from Jiaxin. We took the budget idea further by thinking about the user personas, and after a number of constructive discussions, we decided to consider our users to be college students who are financially responsible, especially those who live away from the family for their first time. With this in mind, we focus on creating a pipeline and consider what features our users would most likely want. Naturally, the first part that users would want would be an expense table where they can keep track of their expense data by inputting, updating, and saving their expense record through our table. With this expense data, we then develop a budget and visualization sections where users can see the statuses of their budget, both textually and visually, so that they can picture their spending patterns in easier ways. To bring this idea of visualization further, we then develop a calendar section where users can see their daily breakdown of how much they spend each time so that they can make smarter decisions accordingly. Lastly, we decided to implement a reminders section where users can add, remove, and prioritize events in order to keep track of their upcoming events, like their credit card payments.
As a team, we had 3 sprint meetings where we focused on the coding of our actual website. Our first sprint was from November 6th to November 13th. This is right after we decided what we're going to do for our budget app, and this is when we coded the basic skeleton of our HTML website. We didn't have any of the JavaScript working, but we had mainly of the front end design, and each person worked on an individual aspect of the part of the project with a partner. And then we had a retrospective session.
For the first retrospective meeting, we realized that the reason that merging was an issue is that we didn't get approval from the recent changes and all tried to merge at the same time. We felt a bit discouraged because we had a lot of deadlines.
And so coming into our next sprint, which occurred right after that, so from November 15th until November 20th, we kind of took in that feedback into mind and worked on like implementing that in the future. So right away, we kind of had a new way to organize deadlines. So we kept track of deadlines in a more unified way, just so we didn't have any deadlines creep up of us. And we learned how to better utilize our workflow and merge better. So in this sprint meeting, so our second sprint is when we did more of the back end of the website and a lot of the JavaScript to get it working. So at this point, like by November 20th, we had a lot of JavaScript working, a lot of the features were working, and then we began to finalize like the layout and design in the next sprint. So and we retrospected for this one.
So like the second retrospective meeting included meeting times, merging conflicts, deadlines, and some function issues. We decided what upset us and worked well. And we sorted out issues. We mainly said we still need to work on staying on top of deadlines, and with the additions of new features, we need to fix the layout.
Yeah, we just needed to fix the layout. And then in our final sprint, which was from November 22nd to December 1st, which was last Thursday, is when we kind of really pulled the website together and all the features are working. So November 27th is when we had our meeting with the TA, and she gave us some feedback, as well as I met with the professor on behalf of our team, who also gave us feedback. So once we got all that feedback, the final 4 days of coding, we kind of just implemented most of the feedback as much as we could. And our decisions on which feedback we implemented and which we decided not to for the final project is in our layout decisions, architectural decision record, which is in the README file. So we made a couple of changes to the website, and then our final project is here. And in this one, we didn't really have retrospective, given that this final video, as well as like all our work now, has been our retrospective for that sprint meeting. And yeah, thank you so much.
Okay.
Hi, we'd like to offer some advice to anyone who may take over our project in the future. So first, here are a few things that we didn't quite get around to finishing in the quarter, and we'd love for you guys to add. Move the input of the expense table to the top left of the page in order to help with the user experience. Also, add the feature where you can export a budget as a PDF or an Excel, as an Excel will be very helpful for them to be able to visualize their budget in another way, and a PDF could allow them to share their budget. Also, add the feature where you can archive expense data for every month so that you can go back in time and look at how you did in 1 month. Provide options to have a weekly or bi-weekly expense table so that you can break down your budget and spending week by week. And it would be amazing if you could allow the user to share their budget via messaging or social media in an intuitive way.
Possible improvements to build the pipeline, if we had another quarter to work on this, would be to add a welcome page that could introduce our website to users that may have not used our budgeting app before. We also want to implement ways to track expenses using credit cards and bank statements, so users don't need to input their information directly. We also want to allow users to create their own accounts so that they can access their information from any device that they want. We could do this by exploring frameworks like React, React Native, or Electron to support an integrated database that keeps track of the user information for a specific user account. We also want to allow users to create multiple budgets. This is for making budgets for your food or your entertainment and stuff like that. We also want to make the character a focal point of the website, allowing the user to interact with it by customizing its clothing and accessories, and depending on how well their budget is doing.
Okay. And for the final part of this video, we just want to talk about some things that were hard for us and some things that we're really proud of. To begin with things that we found difficult, it was one of our first times ever doing a project of this magnitude with a group of 10 people. We had never really used GitHub in a group sense before. So our first ever time merging was a disaster, but I think that was a really difficult challenge to overcome, but I'm glad we learned how to use workflows and came back from that.
Also, the quarter was short, so people had other classes to work on, and prioritizing the right things was difficult.
Lastly, people got sick in the middle, so we have to coordinate and communicate around that and redistribute tasks.
We also had a number of things that we are really proud of. The first is that our team bonding was really the thing that was our advantage. We actually prioritized psychological safety, and we feel like very close as a team, and we learned how to be friends and work as a team in a professional way with people who are very different from each other, and we also learn from each other.
Another thing that we learned or that we're really proud of is how our website ended up looking at the end. Like I said at the beginning, we had never done something of this magnitude before. So having a finished product that we can see, like when we type in something and we see the changes, that's like something we're very proud of. We are also very proud of how we were able to like take feedback from the TA and the professor and implement that in such a short time frame. And we all wish that we could keep working on this project forever.
We were also really proud of our videos and the final GitHub repo and our final outcome for the website.
After embracing the process, we have a final product that we are all proud of.
Thank you so much for a great quarter.